What's good, everybody? Corbino here, and this is just a video that literally I got the idea for less than 10 minutes ago. I was sitting here rearranging some stuff on my favorite geek item shelves in the back, or I guess in the front, and I was like, holy crap, I've had this for a long time. Then I put on another thing. I was like, I've had this for a long time. And I kept finding things that I had for a long time. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I show you guys some of the stuff that I've had since before I started collecting? And I'm going to go ahead and say that before 9th grade. Because the Geek Room went up. Started getting, we started building the Geek Room after my freshman year of high school. And that was... So the Geek Room started in 2012 is when we started making this room happen. Yeah, Summer Avengers came out. And before that, I've always been a geek or nerd, and I always had all these action figures and movies and whatnot. But obviously I wasn't into it like I am now. And it was really amazing to me that I still have some of the stuff that I had from years and years ago, like that this stuff really lasted this long and stayed with me. And so yeah, I'm going to show y'all some of the stuff that has survived all of these years and that have been around since before I started collecting. Are there any posters over here? I don't believe so. The only poster I can think of, there's some sketches like prints and whatnot done by local artists that I've gotten from like my very first con, which was still before I was even collecting. And there's a Marvel poster I got in like the 5th grade sitting right there, but I'm not even gonna bother with it. Y'all have seen it before in the background and in the geek tours. So let's get into it. This is probably one of the earlier ones. It's just a Hulk, and he sits on top of this rubble, this garbage or whatever. I'm gonna try to bring him a little closer. And I mean, really, can his arms even move? I don't remember, it's been so long. And he could twist around like this and like that. But yeah, I guess his arms don't really, I guess they can kind of move, but it's kind of difficult too. And did this come out with the Hulk movie in 2003? Yes, it did. Look at this. Still says 50 cents on it from the yard sale we got it at. Okay. Take that off finally after 10 years. Damn. And I'm not even exaggerating. This had to have been at least 10 years since I got this at a yard sale. I had another Hulk that was on top of a tank, and he would like smash it, but that broke. And so I still have this guy, and he sits on my shelves. And yes, I do love the Hulk, but honestly, this isn't that great of a collectible. But I only keep it just because I've had it for so long. And this thing that's like, I can't get rid of it. It's been here forever. What else do we got? Now this was awesome. This is old school Thing and old school Mr. Fantastic. You can change his hands to regular hands or his stretchable hands. And this is, I got these a little bit after the second Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, because I was obsessed with the first two and I had so many action figures from both movies. But finally, a year or so passed, there weren't any more action figures for him. And I saw these at Walmart, and I remember begging and begging for them, and I ended up getting them. And freaking, I love them, and I still have them to this day. And it's just, the Fantastic Four have always been one of my favorites, and it's helped me become the geek that I am. And that's another video I got coming up, things that made me a geek. Here we got the Ironmonger, the bad guy from the first Iron Man movie. I have no idea when I got this. I got this when I only had altogether 3 nephews and nieces. And now I have like 14, 15. There's 2 that are about to be born, like literally this month. Anyways, because my nephew Micaiah, as a little kid, always played with this and the Iron Man figure I had that I had with it. And I think I must have sold the Iron Man figure because I ended up not really liking it as much, but I always loved this Ironmonger figure, and I've kept it ever since. And it still sits chilling here in the Geek Room, and it's been here forever. I mean, first Iron Man at least, so that's at least 10 years that I've had this. Alright, here we have Cyclops. I almost choked and died. Here we have Cyclops from, you know, the X-Men. And you can still see in some of the creases of his abs and stuff, there's yellow paint. Where I had started trying to paint him into my own superheroes, which I did with some of my figures, which one day I'd like to talk to you guys more about those, but not quite yet. And anyways, the type of material his blueness is made of on his chest would not hold the paint. It just kept slipping around, would not dry, so I ended up just cleaning him off and keeping him how he is, and I've had him for a very, very long time, since elementary school at least. And to give y'all, because I mean, a lot of people think I'm like 16, 17, especially when my hair's, especially when I have my afro, they think I'm younger. With facial hair, they don't normally tell me an age, but when I'm clean shaven or I have an afro, they think I'm like 16, 17 still. I am just turned 21 like a month and a half ago, and so I'm going to tell you, just to give y'all an idea, I ended elementary school in 2008, I ended middle school in 2011, and ended high school in 2015. Just so y'all can sort of have an idea of the time frame I'm talking here. Okay, here we have an Ultron figure. Does he still light up? No, he does not. Like a year ago, he still lit up. There's a button on his back. You could light up his eyes. I got him from yard sale. Someone, whoever had him, drew like weird Sharpie marks on his chest. But either way, I didn't even know who this was when I first got him, and I loved playing with this. And as I grew older, I realized this is Ultron, one of my favorite comic book villains. And so, of course, I have to keep him. And, I mean, just, it's awesome. I always played with him. And because of his hands, I always had him, like, grab the superheroes and be like, ugh, you know, like that. Good times, good times. Here we got Krang in his little just walking chair. Is not the humanoid, whatever he called that machine. And I had that at one point, but Krang's head was so small on it, I lost the Krang head, and it made me mad. But anyways, I've always had this. The last Ninja Turtle figures I really had, I mean, I sold most of my loose Ninja Turtle figures at this point, because I just didn't, I never, like, as I grew up, I really did not like how the old Ninja Turtle figures looked and moved and whatnot, because they were just like bunched up and their arms just like, you couldn't bend them at all. Like their knees were set bent, their arms were set bent, and they were so short. I kept him, Shredder, and a Foot Soldier, and the Shredder broke, so got rid of him. The Foot Soldier I got rid of because I didn't want him without the Shredder, and Krang I still have to this day, and he's sitting right here in his chair as always. This is Beast Boy, back in my Teen Titans days. I couldn't find any Teen Titan toys ever. It was impossible. I found a Cyborg where you could replace his arms, and he had a button on his chest, and you'd like, booyah! And probably say other stuff, I don't remember for sure. But this, you would put this behind him, and put the tail up, and he walked around like Beast Boy. But then you could put his head on, and it's a cheetah, and he had a back to it too. But I lost the back, and his feet turn around into paws. And this was really cool. It just made him into a cheetah, and that was awesome. And I had a Robin where it was like, it was really weird. You could take, Robin's body wasn't posable. It was just clipped onto a head, and you could take it off, and then it was a small body with a big head, like they did sometimes in that cartoon. And then leading into the next one, I had a Red X Robin that was shorter, and it came with a Terra with her Slade uniform on. And I don't know what happened to all those Teen Titan figures, but I still have Beast Boy and Terra. Probably because they're two of my favorites from Teen Titans and DC, but I've had Terra for a very long time, and she's even helped me come up with some pretty dope ideas. These, I mean, I've had these since I lived in the basement of my house. Now I live on the top floor in the basement. I moved out of there in 8th grade. No, here we got the Red Zeo and Red Lightspeed Rescue Rangers, and I think I found online that there's a full set like of all 10 Red Rangers. I don't know when these came out, does it say? 2007. And they're all just like posed like this. These are the two I found at a yard sale, and I never saw any more of them. And one day maybe I will go on and buy them all offline and buy brand new ones of these. I don't know. But still, I've had these for a long time. I never actually really played with them. They just sat around, but they were always cool to me, so I had them. We got some more Ranger stuff here. We got a Red Turbo. I like to pretend it's TJ as the Red Ranger, but still, I've always had this figure for a very long time. And then here we got some more Lightspeed Rescue Rangers. I think these were Happy Meal toys. Oops, sorry. That's some stuff I'm going to show you later. Doesn't say. But we got blue, we got pink, we got green, and we got titanium. And sorry I'm not saying the names, because Lightspeed was one of my lesser favorite seasons, and I don't remember all the Rangers' names, so I don't want to say some and not say the others. Here we got Goldar. Now, what I used to do as a kid, which I've admitted to thousands of times, you know my cousin Drake. He's been in multiple videos on this channel. He was a Power Ranger fan as a kid, but because of how old he was, he liked Operation Overdrive, Mystic Force, and Jungle Fury. And those were cool toys. I loved playing with those toys with him, but I didn't know what those Rangers were. And my mom would always take me to go help buy gifts for him for birthdays or Christmases, and I would always pick out gifts that I also wanted so that I could play with him at his house. Like, I picked out a JJ the jet plane. He didn't even know what the hell that was. Like, I was a selfish motherfucker. And then one time, Walmart had these little mini Power Ranger figures. Like, it had the original 5 Rangers. I think it had Tommy in both white and green. It had an Alpha with a mini Zordon head. It had a Putty, and it had a Goldar. And I went back and was like, Mom, oh, I know where there's Power Ranger stuff we can get Drake. But also, if we're going to be real, I didn't know where to find other Power Ranger stuff but these ones that I saw. And it was cool because these are the ones that I watched as a kid, along with some others. So it was cool that they were in stores all of a sudden. And the only ones left were Putties and Goldar. So I picked out Goldar for him, and he had it for a long time, but he ended up giving it back to me when he, stopped liking Power Rangers. And I lost the sword, but still, Goldar's my dude, and he's been around for a very long time. Okay, the Shocker, which he made his debut in Spider-Man Homecoming last year. I've had this Shocker forever, and he twists up. I don't know what he was supposed to do, but he always vibrated. You could twist his back, and he would go, ooh, and it looked like he would have had things that shot out of his hands if you pressed the buttons. But I've always had him just like this, and he's been one of the ones I've had for a very, very long time, and have him to this day. And then we got another one that I have had since childhood. I found this at a yard sale, I think going into 6th grade maybe, along with a big thing of comics. I believe I got him, it's Black Panther, I believe I got him along with the Cyclops I showed you earlier. But it came with a couple comics, which I didn't really get into comics back then, but it came with the origin of T'Challa from the Avengers comics. And so that was really cool, and his hand's removable, and he has claws, and I loved this. I used to take off his cape a lot, so it was easier to maneuver him, but now he sits on the shelves collecting dust, but he still looks dope, and I've had him, like I said, since like 6th grade, something like that, very long time. This guy here I got, it's a mini little Hulk, and I got him from Toys R Us. RIP. And if we're gonna be real, I got it out of a mini thing when me and my friends would always, in 8th grade, it was like the cool thing to do was go to the mall and stuff, and we would walk over to Toys R Us sometimes, and they had these mystery minis, and I didn't want to pay for it. I wanted to know which one was the Hulk, so I opened a few, and I may have taken this Hulk. And I am sorry, Toys R Us. Maybe if I would have bought this Hulk, it would have helped keep you in business. I'm sorry, please forgive me, and also, don't arrest me. I don't know, can this arrest me? Either way, I'm going to put it out. Either way, hopefully I'm not arrested, guys. Here we got Iceman from Wolverine and the X-Men. I also had Avalanche, but I just recently... Goodbye, Iceman. I just recently got rid of Avalanche. I never really liked that figure. He was too awkward, and I had a Logan where you could put the claws on him, take it off. And I loved that figure, but I'm pretty sure it ended up breaking because I played with him like crazy. But I still got Bobby, and I love him. Now these guys here, they still got them because I just recently got a Vision one. I think from Toys R Us when I was closing out. It was a birthday gift, but still. I got this mini little Captain America, if you can even see him. And I got this mini Iron Man. And this mini Black Widow. And I love these guys. I used to have a Spider-Man, Human Torch, Black Panther. and I assumed they've broken or I sold them, and I could have sworn I still had my Thor figure around here, but I cannot find him anywhere. And now a part of that line of toys, I have a Colossus, Apocalypse, Juggernaut, Sentry, I have Loki, a few others, but this is the one that I played with all the time, was Electro. I don't know why, but I just loved his suit and his figure, and I played with it all the time as a kid. It was ridiculous. I remember Chandler would always play the card jitsu or whatever on Club Penguin, because I played Club Penguin, but he would always play that for me. And so I would sit next to him at the computer, and I would play with him a lot while he was, you know, doing stuff for my Club Penguin. Now these next 6, did I grab all 6? Oh yeah, I did. We got a little Cap. We got a little Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Iron Man, and Black Widow. Oh, Black Widow's base fell off again. These guys I have had since, I don't know, since a birthday at some point. I think 8th grade or something. They were on my birthday cake, and I've had them since, so that's dope. Now here, we're out of action figures, yep. These two right here. Lordy lordy, we have had these two bowls for a long time, and I found the Leonardo one, I believe, at Classic Plastics years back. I still have them. I've never found the Donatello one, and preferably I'd like to find all brand new or newer condition, because these ones we didn't take care of as kids, but I still kept them. The paint on both of them are worn off. My brother melted both of these in the microwave, so the bottom of Raphael's bowl is a little warped. And the Michelangelo, it looks like someone took a piece of sandpaper and sawed down this side and his nose. But, I mean, I've had these forever, and I love them. I used to eat out of these like crazy. Now, this was one of my favorite mugs as a child. We got Tommy, Angelica, and Chucky. It was very rubbery, and I always played with it as a kid. These came with a popcorn bags or whatever released with the Spider-Man movie, and it was 2 Spider-Man popcorn buckets. This is what we ate our popcorn out of all the time, like all the time. This was literally, it would be like when all the siblings would come over and we'd watch movies at night, we would fight over who gets the 2 popcorn buckets and who has to eat out a regular bowl or bag. Okay, we got my boy Donkey. This mug has definitely been chipped over the years, but I used to drink my hot cocoa in the winter out of this bad boy. Okay, I think we're down to the last 3. This is the Hellboy bust, where the gun has broken many a time, but it's been super glued back on many times. And what's crazy is, I'm pretty sure I barely knew anything about Hellboy when I got this. I got this early middle school, and I also got it at the same time I got my Sega Genesis. And I don't know why I got this. I really don't. And I'm surprised my mom let me get it, because back then was when she was like super hardcore Christian, and it says Hellboy. Just seems like something she wouldn't have let me have. Something she wouldn't let me have. But my dad was also there when we got it, so maybe he talked her into it. I don't know. Either I've had this Hellboy bust for a very long time, and it was really weird of me to have that, because I just let it sit around and like, I want to play with it, you know? Okay, down to the last 2. These 2 things are literally two things that I bought when I was in 9th grade, and it was time to start collecting. Actually, the last thing I think I got in 8th or 7th, but this one I definitely got in 9th grade, is my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 5 Legacy figure collection, or whatever the hell they're called. And I got Steve Cardenas to sign it last year, and hopefully the rest of the Mighty Morphin Rangers will sign it one day. I've had this set since 9th grade, long ass time. And then here, let me just show you the final item, is the Hobgoblin. I got him. I asked my mom to order a Hobgoblin action figure for me. She got it off of eBay, because I wanted a Hobgoblin figure, because I fell in love with him after, this is around the time when I would always watch the Spider-Man animated series on late night Disney and whatnot. And I fell in love with him, and when this figure got here, he was way bigger than I figured he would be, and he was a weirder plastic, like he didn't match up with the rest of my toys. So I was like, I guess I'll just keep him in a box, and that's what I did. And he's been sitting here, sitting pretty for forever, for a very long time. And I remember there's a number somewhere. Oh, down here it says Toy Biz toll-free customer service number, and I called it. I thought it was so cool. I was like, I'm gonna call these people, prank call them, and the number was out of service because you know this was the 90s. So yeah, this was. I actually enjoyed doing this. I'm glad I randomly came up with this idea. Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff I've had for a long time, but this is the stuff that I have had since before I started collecting. Send me pictures, tweet pictures, Snapchat pictures, comment. Let me know what kind of stuff you guys still have that you've had since childhood, since whenever, and it's some of your favorite stuff that you've been collecting. And that'll be it. So until next time, keep collecting.
Hi, do you have a pupper?
Meow, meow.
If so, get Le Bullymake box.
You saw Bullymake books?
It's orange.
It's orange? It's box?
It's got dogs on it.
If you like dogs and you have dogs, you got Bullymake. Oh!
That's a phone.
That's them calling.
Hello? Phones can't use
Hey,
people.
Bullymake people, we're
But you know
talking about you right now.
Tell them we're recording their
We're
ad.
recording an ad for you because your box is so cool.
Awesome.
Dogs love it. What was that? Promo code IG10?
Puppers love them.
They said to use promo code IG10 for stuff off. $10 off promo code IG10.